So this mosque was denied permission to build in New Jersey by a township there. I dealt with this before in the program, whenever it was when was it, about a year ago? And it became a big issue about religious liberty and things like that. And Russell Moore said, and I quote, he's head of the ERLC, and he said, sometimes we have to deal with questions that are really complicated, and we have to spend a lot of time thinking them through and not sure what the final result was going to be. Moore replied, sometimes we have to make really hard decisions. We have really hard decisions to make. This isn't one of them. What it means to be a Baptist is support soul liberty for everybody. And brothers and sisters, when you have a government that says we can decide whether or not a house of worship can be constructed upon the theological beliefs of that house of worship, then we're going to be Southern Baptist churches in San Francisco and in New York and throughout this country who are not going to be able to build. Completely pragmatism, not about serving Christ. Well, we might as well say, well, my friend, he said he would listen to the gospel if I came to this brothel with him. It's sin. We don't do it. We believe in the sovereignty of God. We do not have to disobey God in order to lead somebody to Christ. And it's completely in the hands of God. Salvation is of the Lord. It's in God's hands. Anyway, I did a show on this before. But now this mosque has gone through, not only that insult to injury, the township, Bernard's Township in New Jersey, will pay $3.25 million in damages and attorney's fee to the Islamic Society of Basking Ridge in settlement resolving 2 lawsuits announced on the 30th of May by the U.S. Justice Department. The U.S. Justice Department comes in and just says, hey, you stop the Muslim advance. They have to 1.75. I think that's the number. 1.75. Oh yeah, 1.5 million in damages to this group. Not just covering attorney's fees and things like that, but damages. And not only that, the Washington Post said that the Berners Township will pay the Islamic Society 1.5 million in damages, 1.75 million in attorney's fees, and require town officials to submit to diversity and inclusion training. Doesn't it send out a message to anybody who will dare stand in the way? And look, the reasons I don't know if this is the reason they gave was, because of parking spaces and because the worship day was on Friday and all this. It doesn't matter. As a Christian, we're not supposed to support sin. It doesn't matter what the state law says. It doesn't matter. You cannot find complete freedom of religion, freedom of speech in the scriptures. You can't. I'm not saying we oppress those who don't believe in the same thing as we do, and that's not what I'm saying. But in the government, they are to promote the true religion. That is the first commandment. Of course, you can't force converts, and that's not what we're saying. That is a complete straw man. What I am saying is the government is not allowed to support or condone sin in the land. Public sin is especially what the government is supposed to clamp down on. Somebody's publicly drunk, and that would be something the government is supposed to clamp down on. But if somebody's drunk in their own bedroom or something like that, well, that's still sinful and wrong, but you can't exactly monitor it, can you? So that's just an example I would give. So, and look what they said as well after winning this case. Municipalities, and this is from the Washington Post, Abdil Mangi, lead counsel for the mosque, told My Central Jersey, he said this, right? Municipalities around the country should pay close attention to what happens in Bernard's Township. The American Muslim community has the legal resources the Allies and the determination to stand up for its constitutional rights in court and will do so. Basically, you dare challenge us, you dare stand in our way, we will crush you in court. It's a nice way of saying it, but that's kind of more or less what it's saying. Now, because look what I said, municipalities around the country should pay close attention. If you look at the Quran, anything that advances taqiyya, lying, or anything else is allowed to be used to further Islam. So then they're being forced into diversity training. They have to be. You cannot challenge Islam in any way, shape, or form, even though it's coming to destroy democracy, even though the rumors say that they're for democracy and all this. They're not really. Especially in Europe. They're for that giant bureaucratic nightmare, otherwise known as the European Union. And they're crying all over London. You know, those who support the European... It's amazing that I think about 70%, something like that, a large amount, wanted to remain within the European Union. There's a big disconnect between London and the rest of England when it comes to Brexit. You've got Londoners who are pretty much in a bubble. Probably, you know, maybe it's the same with any other major city in the world. And they don't see the problem of having no border whatsoever, no control. They're scared about the future, being apart from the European Union. Well, shouldn't you be a bit more scared of potential jihadis in your area? But no, the priorities are never quite right, are they?